Behold this levitating moon lamp. Why does it float? Yes, is it filled with helium like a balloon? An interesting thought, but no, it is not buoyancy at work here. Maybe it's a trick with mirrors or wires holding it up. A clever guess, but there are no wires or mirrors involved. Just put two pieces of magnets and one will float. A common misconception indeed. While it's true that like a poles of magnet repel each other, simply placing two magnets together will not achieve stable levitation. Let me explain why. When you have two magnets with like poles facing each other, they do create a repulsive force. However, this repulsive force is unstable. The floating magnet tend to flip over or slide to the side because the repulsive force is not uniformly distributed. It is like trying to balance a ball on the top of another ball. Any slight disturbance will cause it to fall off. To achieve a stable levitation, we need more than just repulsion. We need a way to stabilize the floating object. This is where the beauty of modern technology comes into play. Good morning, everyone. Today, we delve into a world where the invisible forces of nature play their most enchanting tricks. A world of electromagnetic levitation. Behold, a marvel of modern science. What you see here defies gravity, seemingly floating by magic. But, my dear students, this is no mere illusion. It is a dance of physics and technology. At the heart of this phenomenon lies the humble electromagnetic. Imagine, if you will, a coil of wire. Send an electric current through, and voila, a magnetic field springs to life. In our levitation device, the base houses a powerful electromagnet. We pass a current through it. A magnetic field is generated, extending upwards. Now, consider the sphere above. It contains a magnet of its own. Right here. Here is where the mystery deepens. Magnets have two poles, north and the south. Like poles repel, opposite poles attract. By aligning the like poles of the base and the sphere, we create a repulsive force, lifting the sphere against the gravity. But the story doesn't end here, as I said before. Repulsion alone is unstable. The sphere could easily fly off to the side. Enter the marvel of modern engineering, and let's discover feedback systems. Sensors and the control circuits constantly monitor the sphere's position. If it drifts, the system adjusts the current, correcting its place, keeping it suspended in a delicate balance. In the case of our levitating moon lamp, we use a combination of electromagnet and advanced feedback systems. The base contains a powerful electromagnet that generates a magnetic field. The moon lamp contains a magnet as well. The system includes sensors that constantly monitor the position of the moon lamp. When the lamp starts to drift or wobble, the sensors detect this movement and send the signals to adjust the current in the electromagnet, correcting the position of the lamp. This feedback loop happens rapidly, maintaining the delicate balance needed for stable levitation. So, while the principle of magnetic repulsion is at the core, it's the precise control of electromagnetic fields and the sophisticated feedback system that make true levitation possible. And stable. It is a perfect blend of physics and engineering. This, my students, is the harmony of forces, magnetic repulsion countering gravity, maintained by precise control. It is not just a science, it is art. Understanding these principles opens doors to wonders beyond this classroom. Maglev trains advanced scientific instruments, each a testament to the power of physics to transform imagination into reality. So, as you observe this levitation, remember, behind the mystery lies the elegance of physics. Welcome to a world where science makes the impossible possible. In a small village nestled deep within the forest, whispers of an ancient legend echoed through the cobblestone streets and weathered wooden homes. The tale of the levitating moon lamp was one of wonder and mystery, passed down from one generation to the next. It was said that on nights when the moon hung low and full in the sky, the lamp would appear, floating gracefully above the village square, casting a soft, ethereal glow that bathed everything in its light. No one knew exactly where the moon lamp came from, only that it was a harbinger of change. Some believed it was a gift from the gods, a beacon of hope in times of trouble. Others thought it was the remnant of ancient magic, a piece of the moon itself that had fallen to earth long ago. Whatever its origin, the villagers revered it, gathered in the square, whenever it appeared to bask in its serene radiance. On one such night, when the air was thick with the scent of pine and the sky was the tapestry of stars, a young girl named Amy stood at the edge of the square, her eyes wide with anticipation. She had heard the stories all her life, but had never seen the moon lamp with her own eyes. Tonight, as the villagers murmured and pointed upwards, Amy's heart raced with a mix of fear and excitement. As the moon reached its zenith, a hush fell over the crowd. There, suspended in midair, was the moon lamp, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly light. Amy felt a pull gentle tug at the soul as if the lamp was calling to her. She took a hesitant step forward, her feet moving almost of their own accord. The villagers watched in silent awe as the young girl approached the floating orb. With each step, Amy felt a strange sense of calm wash over her. The worries and fears that had plagued her melted away, replaced by a profound sense of peace. When she finally stood beneath the lamp, she reached out a trembling hand. As her fingers brushed against its cool surface, a wave of warmth surged through her, and in that moment, she knew her life would never be the same. In the spring of 2022, Shanghai entered a period of strict confinement. A city known for its buzzing streets and vibrant life suddenly stilled. Amidst this unprecedented lockdown, in a small hotel room, a young man found himself confined. His plans to travel to France, where he had hoped to start a new chapter of his life, were abruptly halted. This young man had always been a dreamer, his mind filled with poetry and stories from both ancient and modern times. He had longed to share these with the world, but his dreams seemed to be on indefinite hold. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, this young man's frustration grew. However, rather than succumbing to despair, he decided to channel this energy into something creative. One evening, as the sun set over the silent city, this young man sat by the window of his hotel room, staring at the levitating moon lamp he has brought with him. Its soft, ethereal glow reminded him of the stories of his grandmother used to tell about the moon and its mysterious powers. Inspired, he decided to share his love of poetry and storytelling through a medium he had never considered before: live streaming. He set up his phone, arranged the moon lamp in the background, and began to read. His voice, calm and soothing, carried the words of ancient Chinese poets, the wisdom of Lao Tzu, beautiful poems of Li Bai, and some very nice modern verses. The lamp, hovering in the frame, added an enchanting visual element to his dreams, casting a gentle light that captivated his growing audience. As the days of confinement dragged on, more and more people tuned into his streams. They found solace in his calm demeanor and the beauty of his words. His dreams became a nightly ritual for many, a brief escape from the uncertainty outside. This young man, now known by his streaming alias, ASMR created in Chinacom, became a beacon of tranquility in a turbulent time. His followers admired his resilience and creativity, and his soothing presence brought comfort to many who were also struggling with the lockdown and with life in general. Through his dreams, this young man not only shared the rich heritage of Chinese poetry, but also built a community of like-minded individuals who found peace in the shared experience of art and storytelling. The levitating moon lamp, once a symbol of halted dreams, now represented the light of creativity and connection in the darkest of times. As the lockdown eventually lifted, Wei's fame continued to grow. His dreams remained a testament to the power of art to transcend the boundaries, offering hope and serenity to all who tuned in. What began as a solitary endeavor in a confined hotel room blossomed into a global phenomenon, showing that even in the most challenging experiences, in the most challenging circumstances, creativity and calm could light the way forward. In the corner of his softly lit studio, the moon lamp hovered, its gentle glow casting an enchanting light over the scene. It was a piece of the past brought to life in the present, a beacon of mystery and beauty that perfectly complemented Khan's soothing voice as he read aloud from ancient and modern Chinese poetry. His dreams were a sensory journey. As the lamp levitated, it seemed to breathe with the rhythm of his words, its light pulsing gently in sync with the cadences of his recitations. Viewers found themselves entranced by the harmony of the visual and auditory experience. The moon lamp, once a village legend, now shone across screens worldwide, its magic amplified by the reach of technology. Created in China, Kong's poetry sessions were more than just readings. They were an immersive escape. He often paused to explain the historical context of a poem, sharing stories of legendary poets and their inspirations. The levitating moon lamp became a symbol of those timeless tales, a bridge between the ancient past and the digital present. His audience, a diverse tapestry of poetry lovers, tech enthusiasts, and curious souls, found solace and excitement in his dreams. The chat buzzed with reactions, fans expressing their wonder at the lamp's mesmerizing glow and the depth of created in China Comb's poetic interpretations. Some shared their own poems, while others simply marveled at the serene atmosphere we created. One evening, during a particularly moving recitation of Li Bai's poems, Li Bai's verses about the moon and its reflections on the water, created in China.com noticed a surge in viewer comments. People were sharing their own stories of seeing the moon lamp or similar objects in their dreams or visions. Inspired, Created in China.com invited viewers to share these stories, creating a communal tapestry of moonlit wonders. As its popularity grew, so did the legend of the levitating moon lamp. It became more than just a prop in his dream. It was a symbol of creativity and concern. It became more than just a prop in his dream. It was a symbol of creativity and connection, inspiring others to find the magic in their own lives. Whether it was through poetry, storytelling, or simply the shared experience of wonder, created in China.com and its levitating moon lamp brought a touch of enchantment to the everyday world, proving that legends could live on in new and unexpected ways. One night, as the usual hushed anticipation filled the chat, Created in China.com decided it was time to share a story of its own, a story that had intrigued his audience for months. The soft glow of the levitating moon lamp illuminated his face as it began, his voice as calm and steady as ever. "Tonight," he said, a twinkle in his eye, "I want to reveal the secret behind our beloved levitating moon lamp. Many of you have wondered and speculated, weaving our own tales of its origin. The truth as always, lies somewhere between wonder and reality. The chat erupted in excitement, questions and explanations scrolling rapidly. Created in Chinacom waited patiently for the curiosity to simmer down before continuing. The lamp, this lamp, is a perfect blend of the marvels of modern technology and the boundaries and the boundless reach of our imagination. It is a tribute to both the legends of old and innovations of today. He reached out, his fingers lightly brushing the lamp's surface. The levitation is achieved through a delicate balance of magnets and electromagnetic fields. The base and the lamp itself contain carefully calibrated electromagnetic fields, allowing the lamp to hover gracefully, seemingly defying gravity. He paused, letting the technical explanation sink in before adding, "But there's more to it than just technology. This lamp was crafted with inspiration drawn from the ancient stories of our ancestors. It is a symbol, a beacon that connects us to the past and guides us towards the future." Created in Chinacom's gaze softened as he continued. The light it emits isn't just about illumination. It represents the light of knowledge, of stories and poems passed down through generations. It's about the magic that happens when we blend tradition with innovation. The chat was alive with admiration and awe, viewers expressing their appreciation for the revelation and the deeper meaning behind the lamp. Created in Chinacom smiled, the serene glow of the lamp reflecting in his eyes. Let this moon lamp remind us that while technology can create wonders, it's our imagination and the stories we tell that truly bring magic into our lives. Let this moon lamp remind us that while technology can create wonders, it's our imagination and the stories we tell that truly bring magic into our lives. Whether it's an ancient legend or a modern invention, it is the connection we feel and the emotion we share that makes it all come to life. As he returned to his poetry reading, the levitating moon lamp continued to hover, its glow now imbued with an even deeper sense of wonder and significance. The audience, now privy to its secrets, felt a renewed sense of connection to the legend and to each other, united by the magic of stories and the marvels of the modern world. In a bright and bustling physics classroom, Professor Lee stood at the front, ready to delve into the intriguing world of electromagnetic levitation. On a desk before him, a small sphere hovered mysteriously above the base, capturing the students' attention immediately. "Good morning, everyone," he began with a warm smile, his English as impeccable as always. "Today, we're going to explore the physics behind this fascinating phenomenon known as electromagnetic levitation." He gestured to the levitating sphere. "What you see here is a perfect demonstration of how magnetic fields can be used to counteract gravity and achieve levitation. Let's break down the principles at work." Professor Lee walked over to the whiteboard and drew a simple diagram of the setup. At the heart of this technology are electromagnets. An electromagnet is created by running an electric current through a coil of wire. This generates a magnetic field. The strength and direction of this magnet field can be controlled by adjusting the current. He points to the base of the setup. In our example, the base contains a powerful electromagnet. When we pass a current through it, it generates a magnetic field that extends upwards. Next, he drew the sphere and labeled it levitating object. The sphere above the base contains a permanent magnet or another electromagnet. The key here is that the magnetic field of the base and the sphere interact. Professor Lee paused for effect, making sure his students were following. Now, magnets have two poles, north and south. Like poles repel each other, while opposite poles attract. By carefully aligning the poles of the base and the sphere so that like poles face each other, we create a repulsive force. He highlighted the gap between the sphere and the base in the diagram. This repulsive force is what interacts the gravitational pull of the sphere, causing it to levitate. However, simple repulsion is not enough. To achieve stable levitation, we need to balance this repulsive force precisely against gravity. One of the students raised a hand, but wouldn't the sphere just fly off to the side? Excellent question. Professor Lee replied, "This is where feedback systems come into play. Modern levitation devices use sensors and control circuits to constantly monitor the position of the levitating object. If the object starts to drift, the system adjusts the current in the electromagnetic to correct its position, ensuring it remains stable and centered." He turned back to the class, a gleam of enthusiasm in his eyes. This combination of magnetic forces and feedback control allows for the remarkable stability you see here. It is a beautiful example of how we can harness the laws of physics to create seemingly magical effects. The professor concluded his lecture by encouraging students to experiment with magnets and current themselves. Understanding the principles behind electromagnetic levitation opens the door to countless applications, from maglev trains to advanced scientific instruments. It is a testament to the power of physics to turn imagination into reality. After the physics class ended, the students gathered their belongings, still buzzing with excitement over the day's lesson on electromagnetic levitation. Professor Lee was packing up his notes when one of the students, Emily, approached him with her phone in hand. "Professor Lee, I wanted to show you something interesting. There is this streamer I follow who uses levitating moon lamp, just like the one we discussed earlier." Intrigued, Professor Lee leaned to look at the image of Emily's phone. It showed a young man seated at the desk, the soft glow of a levitating moon lamp casting an enchanting light over this setup. The streamer had a serene expression, reading from a book, his voice seemingly calm and soothing even through the still image. "Fascinating," Professor Lee remarked, adjusting his glasses for a closer look. This streamer, what's his name?" "He's called Created in China.com," Emily replied. "He became really popular during Shanghai lockdown. He reads poetry and tells stories, and his dreams have this really peaceful vibe. The levitating lamp adds such a magical touch. A mysterious smile played on Professor Lee's lips as he nodded. Indeed, it's a beautiful example of how scientific principles can enhance creative endeavors. The lamp not only serves as a visual marvel, but also complements his serene atmosphere perfectly. Emily nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. It's amazing how something we learn about in class can have such a profound impact on the real world, bringing comfort and joy to people. That's the true power of science, Professor Lee said thoughtfully. It not only explains the world around us, but also inspires and enriches our lives in ways we might not always expect. I'm glad you shared this with me, Emily. It's a wonderful reminder of why we study these principles. As Emily walked away, Professor Lee glanced once more at the image of created in China calm. His smile deepened, and a twinkle appeared in his eyes. He knew more about the young streamer than he let on, but he decided to keep that connection to himself, enjoying a certain quiet satisfaction and melancholy. Quiet poem for a quiet night. Ode to the mysteries of physics. When nature's veil is rent by mind's keen blade, and secrets from the shadowed depths cascade. Oh, what delight the seeker's heart does find in realms of laws and forces soulful pen, we chart the heavens and the hearts of men. In physics, as in poetry, we see the boundless dance of purest mystery. Good evening. Now, before we proceed with our little discussion, I want to draw your attention to this fascinating object. It floats as if by some arcane magic. But you see, it is not magic at all. It is science. Pure, elegant, unyielding science. Let's start with a man named Newton, Isaac Newton. The story goes, an apple falls on his head and suddenly he comprehends the force of gravity. Gravity, the invisible hand that pulls everything towards the earth. Simple, yet absolute. Much like the force I represent here. You do not see it, but you feel its pull, its inevitability. Then we have Maxwell, James Clerk Maxwell. He discovered that electricity and magnetism are intertwined, two aspects of the same fundamental force. His equation describes how these forces interact, creating fields that influence the world around them. This lamp, for example, levitates due to magnetic fields, perfectly balanced. Just like I balance the intricate workings of order and control in this room. You see? These principles of physics are not merely academic. They are the foundation upon which reality is built. And just as I understand these principles, I understand the principles of power, of control. This lamp, levitating, is a symbol. It is a demonstration of unseen forces at work, forces that govern your existence, just as surely as my will governs this room. You think you have a grasp on your fate. It is like the particles in quantum mechanics, your reality is dictated by observation. My observation. I decide whether you live or die, succeed or fail. Your future is as uncertain as the quantum states, and I am the one who determine the outcome. You're all Schrodinger's cats, alive and dead, until I decide to open the box. So remember, it is not just the suit, the gun, or the brutality that holds you captive. It is the understanding and manipulation of the fundamental forces at play. This is the real power. And that is why, in this room, I am the master of your fate. Shall I read Bible? Well, me neither. But there's this passage that I really like, and I think it really fits the occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequalities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children, and I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon